Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Picture this. It's the crisp morning of November 17th, 725 AD. The air is cool, and there's still this faint, smoky scent of a feast lingering from the night before. You've got a group of Norse explorers waking up in a Maya village, literally an ocean away from the icy fjords of their homeland. They're well rested, and honestly, their minds are just buzzing from the incredible hospitality they've received. Today, we're going to tag along with them as they step back out onto the ancient paths of Mesoamerica. And trust me, what they find out there, remnants of a world even older than the Maya and these surprisingly deep human connections, it's absolutely fascinating.
So that brings us to the big central question we're looking at today. What actually happens when Norse explorers stumble upon ancient Mesoamerican mysteries? We're talking about two entirely distinct worlds colliding, right? But not in battle. Instead, they share this profound awe of the unknown. As we go through this story, I want you to really put yourself in their shoes. Imagine hacking your way into a dense, green jungle and finding secrets carved in stone that predate the civilizations you already thought were ancient. How would you even process that? Well, let's find out exactly how Ragnar, Reinveig, and their crew handled it.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Gifts Across the Water, Cross-Cultural Diplomacy.
Before our explorers even set foot in the jungle, they have this incredibly peaceful morning with their host. And you have to look at the specifics of what they exchanged here because it's a huge contrast. On one side, you have Maya hospitality, simple, sustaining comforts like maize tortillas and fresh fruit. Then, on the flip side, you have Viking gratitude. Ragnar actually hands over a couple of silver coins, hammered flat and worn completely smooth. Now, silver was a totally unfamiliar metal to this Maya woman, and she accepts it with this graceful, quiet surprise. But, the exchange goes way deeper than just currency. Reinveig steps up and she offers something way more personal, a small, polished agate with these earthy red and gray bands. The Maya woman looks at her and replies, "May your path be blessed, daughter of the North." Just a simple stone, right? Common enough back in Scandinavia. But here, it's completely unique. And it creates this genuine, immediate bond between the two women. It's just a beautiful, quiet moment before the whole group packs up and heads out onto the ancient white road, the Sakbe, cutting right through that vibrant jungle.
Moving right along to Section 2, Relics of the Olmec, Awe of Antiquity.
So the travelers are heading down this Sakbe, and they enter this heavily overgrown, deeply shadowed part of the jungle. It's like these massive trees are guarding ancient secrets. Their guide, Kubalu, introduces them to the relics of the Olmec. He calls them the Rubber People. Now, the Olmec were an ancient civilization that actually predated the Maya themselves. And suddenly, without warning, the Vikings are standing face to face with these giant Olmec stone heads. I mean, colossal structures carved entirely out of dark volcanic basalt. They have these broad faces with thick lips and flat noses, and they look like they're wearing helmets. They're half buried in the earth, totally covered in moss and vines, just silently staring out at a forgotten horizon.
You can literally almost hear Bjorn's booming voice echoing through the humid jungle air. He just yells out, "By Odin's beard, what giants carved these? They are like nothing I have ever seen." And his buddy, Sven Loki, is just completely baffled. He's looking at the sheer scale of these things, trying to figure out how on earth they were even moved or where the stone came from in the first place. And Kobali, their guide, basically admits that, hey, even to the Maya, the Olmec are an ancient mystery. Their wisdom is totally lost to the mists of time.
But then you have Reinveig. She takes a much quieter approach. Staring up at these statues, she says, "Lost wisdom, like ancient runes but carved in flesh of stone." And that right there is absolutely crucial. She and Ragnar, they're recognizing a shared deep antiquity. They are instinctively connecting these mysterious, impassive stone faces to their own Norse concepts of forgotten kings and lost ages. It's a huge light bulb moment. They realize that even in this completely foreign land, there are older, deeper mysteries. History is vast, no matter where you happen to be standing. Okay, let's transition to Section 3, Meeting the Sorceress. Shared Wisdom. As the afternoon rolls on, the white road opens up and they find themselves in this quieter, more scattered village. Here they meet Itzel. She's an old sorceress who carries this beautifully carved animal staff. And let me tell you, stepping into her hut is a sensory overload in the best possible way. You've got strange feathers and these intricate, carved wooden figures all over the walls. The air is incredibly thick with the smell of dried herbs, mixed with that earthy, smoky aroma of burning copal. Every shelf is just packed with polished stones and little clay effigies. It is, without a doubt, the domain of a serious healer.
And here is where it gets really amazing. The old sorceress looks at Randveig and her lodestar fragment, and she instantly recognizes the spirits of the deep earth and the clear sky. Then she looks over at Christina, and she sees this spirit of pure curiosity and an open heart. What happens next is this incredible unspoken friendship. They don't share a single word of the same language, but Itzel patiently shows the Viking women her herbs and stones. She's showing them how they're used for healing, while Randveig and Christina watch her every move with absolute rapt attention.
Which brings us to our final part today, Section 4, The Lost Traveler's Song, Universal Human Experience. Picture the evening settling in over the village. The fires are casting these long, dancing shadows everywhere, and a really profound silence falls over the group. Itzel steps right into the center of the plaza, sits down on a low-carved chair, closes her eyes, and just begins to sing. It's called the Song of the Lost Traveler. It's this ancient, incredibly mournful lament that just weaves through the night air. For a solid hour, she sings this haunting melody, a wordless story about a wandering soul searching the vast wilderness, desperately looking for a path home. And why does this hit so hard? Because to the Vikings, this deeply, deeply resonates with their own fears about souls going adrift and their intense reverence for the afterlife. Ragnar actually feels an ache in his chest, and even the usually boisterous Bjorn goes completely, respectfully quiet.
Then the song ends, and the silence is completely shattered by this spontaneous, absolute thunder of Viking applause. The Northmen just erupt into this deep, rumbling clap. It's so loud, it actually startles the younger Maya children in the village. But Itzel, she just opens her eyes and beams with absolute pride. The pure warmth of their admiration fills the entire night sky. It's such a perfect, beautiful proof that feelings like grief, longing, and true, deep appreciation, they completely transcend language.
And that brings us to the big takeaway for today's explainer. In a world full of forgotten kings, giant stone heads, and vast, impossible oceans, what actually bridges the divide between us? Well, today we saw that it can be a polished stone given in gratitude. It can be a shared sense of awe staring at ancient mysteries. Or it can be the haunting melody of a song that speaks to the wanderer in all of us. No matter the culture, our shared humanity is the ultimate bridge. Keep that in mind as you navigate your own world today. Thanks so much for exploring this with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.